J. Anthony Homes we're in Chamberlain Place in Fairview, Texas, standing in 660 Louise. So, but still call, ask me any questions you have about this home, because we certainly can put you in something else. Tom.
This is Tom behind the camera, so I'll be asking some questions too as we go.
Absolutely.
Okay, go ahead.
So, really quickly, I want to touch on Chamberlain Place first, if that's okay. How many homes have you built in here so far? Just in Chamberlain Place, because you built multiple.
Yeah, just in Chamberlain Place. I think this is our 5th one that's basically completed. We have 4 new starts just in Chamberlain Place. This is really a hot subdivision, so it's one that because of the proximity to 121, the proximity to 75, all the shops, that kind of thing. It's just an amazing location.
Yeah.
That coupled with some great houses makes this kind of a place to be now.
It's amazing. We've gotten so many calls on this home. I've showed it several times.
Yeah.
And there's so much wow factor in all of our properties. They're super fun and they're very different, very unique. So my question was too, this house that we're standing in is listed close to 1.5 million.
That said, we have lots in here that are in the 260,000 range. So, if you're in that $1 million to $1.1 million market, this is a subdivision where you can build 4,200. We were kind of talking about this a little bit, Tom. You can build 4,200 square feet, have this kind of a finish out, have the proximity to everything you ever want, and be at that $1 million, $1.1 million range.
With the pool.
With a swimming pool.
Yeah.
So that's a brand new custom home with a pool, single story,
Absolutely.
on an acre lot. 5 minutes from 75 and 121.
That's correct.
And then all the shopping and all dining in Fairview for under 1.1 million, which is
the low tax rates at Fairview. I mean, there's a lot of things to consider in this particular subdivision. This is really a place to be.
So let's say somebody calls, they're ready to build a home. From start to finish, what would you say the time frame would be? Assuming that they get their design wrapped up.
In the past, I've been saying about 6 months. I think this house we started in mid-February. We'll be finished with it in about 2 weeks.
So 6 months.
So that's about a 6-month process. That said, with some of the things that are going on in the world today with COVID and stuff like that, we're having to deal with some back orders, materials being, not being able to be brought in and stuff like that. So I'm telling everyone 8 months.
Okay.
And that's a very realistic schedule, especially with the finish like you're seeing.
Well, 8 months, if you compare the time frame, if you're just building let's just say you're building in a production neighborhood, call it Mustang Lakes and and you're just building with one of the bigger production builders. That's about 8 months is about the time frame if you start from scratch. And so doing true custom, to get a true custom home within 8 months is unheard of. Right?
Yeah, that's meeting with the designers, meeting with the decorators, meeting with the cabinet guys, doing what we call touch points. There's 16 touch points throughout the construction cycle where we're physically on site meeting with the customers and kind of deciding, what do you think about this? Do you like this? What about this color? Should we paint the baseboard white? Should we paint it gray match? Truly custom.
The one thing I love about...
Let me add this too about Tony. One of the reasons that his homes can move so quickly is you're not working with an architect going back and forth. And if you've ever built a home, you'll realize that's where the delay is. You take a plan, the architect draws it up, and then it goes back to you for approval, and then it goes back to the architect, back to the builder, and every time there's a turnaround, it's 2 or 3 days lost. Whereas Tony, I remember years ago, he used to sketch out his homes with a customer on the back of a napkin, and he'll put it on AutoCAD, and he can do it very quickly. So all of his designs are original, unless he builds a spec home with a very popular floor plan that he liked. But you're basically starting with a blank slate. So
and from that, because of the way that we do our pricing, it's all unit pricing. So we're going to take the living square footage, multiply times 150 square foot. It's going to include all those standard features that you would want anyway.
Right.
Not that you can't build on top of that if you want to, but from the time I do the design, I can create the elevation and give them a price almost
immediately. So you've systemized the custom build process
He's the Henry Ford of home construction.
Right, I agree.
Well, what I've been saying is be organized, systematic, well managed, and under control. And if you can do those 4 things and you can do them consistently, which is the 5th element, then you can create product that the consumer's going to want and do it to where you can handle
And
this.
he's got his systems down. I've been to his office and seen the books that he puts together, and everything is itemized out. You know exactly what it's costing you, you know, through the whole process, exactly what your costs are going to be, so there are no surprises at the end. So that's why one of the reasons he's so popular out here. Tony, how many homes have you built out here, would you say, in
Let's
Fairview
see,
and Lucas?
Just in this subdivision? Or
No,
just
Fairview and Lucas.
Oh, goodness. We just closed our 109th house
Yeah.
in just under 3 years.
And how many do you have under construction now?
Currently, we have 37 under construction.
That's just incredible.
We have 19 new starts, and we have 26 that are under pre-construction
Yeah.
agreement right now.
So guys, when you hear this, you know, the COVID has slowed this market down, I can promise you it hasn't.
Right.
Yeah, it's still working.
I think what COVID has done, for, you know, those that are in a position where they can do that is when you've been stuck at home. I know myself personally, and now I'm like, I need a house that has a pool, or I need a house that functions a specific way.
Yeah.
Because we're seeing also a lot of people calling and coming up from Dallas. They want the space for their kids. They don't want to be on a postage stamp lot.
Yeah.
And what a perfect spot,
Yeah.
you know, to
Well, look at
be.
the story that we just heard of customers that are there.
Yeah.
You know, they're moving from Austin.
Austin.
Yeah, they're moving from Austin just because they want to change. They want more land. They want more items in their house. And more people that start getting away from the media rooms, getting away from the game rooms, they want those things back now, so that they don't have to go out and entertain.
Right.
They can be at home and be secure, be safe, and still have the things that they want to do. So.
What is the minimum build size here in Chamberlain Hills?
I believe it's at 4,200 square feet. It might be 4,000, but at 4,200 square feet, the math works with my process.
Okay.
At 4,200.
And you also have just 2 minutes away. We could walk down the street to Harbor Oaks.
Harbor Oaks,
And
yeah.
there's 6 lots remaining.
I believe
5 to 6 lots.
five or six lots left is all. I mean, that's been a great subdivision. We started it less than a year ago.
Right. Halfway sold.
And people think of Fairviews out in the country. We're literally about 4 minutes away from 3 million square feet of retail, entertainment. If you want to go see I don't know, I can't remember what it's called, not semi-professional, but the step down from the high-end hockey, you can see that. Top Golf is right down the street. They've got water sports throughout Allen, because Allen actually abuts Fairview. So
Even the medical too.
Pardon me?
Even the medical, we have the hospital. And
Right, that's exactly right. And I bet you that probably maybe appeal to some of the people that have bought in here, because you're 4 or 5 minutes away from that McKinney Hospital,
That's exactly
which I went to. And by the way, I was told if you're ever in an emergency procedure up here, that's the place to be. It's kind of like the Parkland of the North.
Yep,
So,
exactly.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, we think about those things as we get older. Okay, well, let's walk through this and kind of tell us about your vision of this home. What were you trying to create besides a single story, which you know is popular?
So, I really try to pride myself on the single story construction, not because it's easy, but because it's hard.
This is the best.
Erin loves this bathroom.
This is the best.
Isn't it great?
It's amazing. It's amazing.
We're actually having a seat in there that folds up and down for the buyers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which is going to be a neat look.
Nice. And would this be easy to customize into just a full steam shower?
Say it one more time.
Could you enclose this totally and make it?
Yeah, so this will have a glass door that's over the top of it, and then you can add a steam shower if you want to.
Oh my gosh,
Absolutely.
that's amazing.
Master closet.
Love master closet.
And I thought this was a nice touch. So you don't see the framed mirrors like this very often anymore,
No.
and then adding the wall sconces to it, a very small cost increase for a really huge impact.
For sure. I
One
love
of
this
my favorite faucets in that
I
color.
know, they're very
It's like a
strong.
polished chrome.
And they twist.
Yeah.
Too, a little bit.
So I talked with the Delta reps, and they said that they had designed that off to look like a swan. That was the meaning behind that particular design.
You know, when I think of swans, I think of Gloria Vanderbilt.
I
I
think
don't know
of
why, but I do. But I do. And I love
the part that we really try to strive on is to live through.
This is
So
where
this
I
would be your
have
hampers.
my whole Joe Malone
There you
collection
go.
of perfume and
Absolutely.
body cream. It's
Yep.
the best. I love
Absolutely.
Joe Malone. Huge soaker tub.
You also see, as we start walking through the house, you'll see a lot of the details. So,
And then also too, it's like
mhm.
like you've got to look up and you have to look down in this house because you have like cool herringbone, hardwood floor pattern.
Yeah, and it's not glaring at you, it's just door guides on the sides. So we've taken all the door guides from the sides, put them down on the bottom side, so that when you close them, not only they soft close, but you don't see the guides anymore. Small details, but they go a long, long way.
So Tony,
Inside
this is this home on a per square foot? Would this be typical to finish out of a smaller home at 4,200 square feet?
100%, yeah.
Okay, so what you're looking at now would be what you could get in that $1.1 million range.
Absolutely.
With the pool, with the same quality finish
Yeah,
out.
and there's a lot of buyers, Tom, that don't need that big square footage anymore,
Right.
but they really are used to the quality and the features that
Yeah.
they want. And I think that this is a great opportunity to have those buyers that are a move down buyer,
Right.
from 5,000, 55, 6,000 square feet into that 4,200 square foot range, but still have the things that they
Well,
want.
because you can still scale the family room and have, they
Sure.
want the important spaces, but they may not need the homework
Yeah,
station.
you're exactly
or
right.
some of the other
Yeah.
things, but you keep the space in the important
Yeah.
parts of the house.
Years ago, Tony was, and I told him this, he was the first builder I ever talked to that could quote me a per square foot. He said, I'll tell you right now, and I can't remember back then, it was a long time ago, $145 a square foot, and that's what it's going to cost us for that. Well, what other builder can tell you that? They say, well, it depends on the fixtures, it depends on the finish out, but he can show you and say, this is what you get. We can reproduce it for
I
that.
can tell you what you're going to get. I can tell you the price that it's going to be, and it's hard to make decisions when you don't have all the answers, right?
Right.
And so, the way that we've designed the company is to be able to manage our cost, know exactly what our cost per square foot is, be able to add the lot cost to that, and then say, okay, based off of our cost per square foot, we can sell at X amount of dollars per square foot and be profitable without trying to gouge the customer,
Right.
but to be consistent.
Right.
Any one of my customers goes talk to the neighbors, the price is the same for everybody.
Which is smart.
Which is smart, and it also protects the value of the subdivision as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, land plan is very strict about their.
Yes.
In fact, that's one of the knocks. A lot of people don't like them, but really, as a realtor, I appreciate it because that does protect everybody's values. They're not going to let someone come in and build a sub-quality home,
No.
and they've got Tranquility next door, which is, those homes are up to $3 million,
Sure.
and they're the same way.
Yep.
You adhere to those restrictions, so you got a lot of safety being in here for a lot of reasons.
Yep, I agree.
I have one last comment about being able to quote a price up front, because I've worked with a lot of people, and it's nice to start, what is your budget? Like, where's your comfort level?
That's
okay,
correct.
we really don't want to spend more than maybe 1.75. Okay, and you can tell them very quickly, this is what 1.75 could look like, opposed to kind of going in backwards, and then they pick everything they love, only to find out
That they can't, that they're
this is
over
going to
budget.
fit your budget, and I can never understand
Yeah.
that process.
So what makes me be able to do that is because not only have we got our cost under control, but we have the design under control. So if we know what our price per square foot is, then we can design to that number. So if you're at 1.5 million, let's just make a number up. You're 1.5. I'm going to design to 1.35. That way, you're not just building a house, but you're also getting all the features that you want, which I think is sometimes more important than the square footage.
Yeah.
So let's don't design to 1.5 and not be able to do anything with the house. Let's design to 1.35 and let's put those nice features in that are going to make you feel comfortable, make you really fall in love with everything.
Absolutely. And oh my gosh, if you haven't seen the J. Anthony model home
Yeah.
That's
down
it.
at Berry Farm, oh my goodness.
I'll put a link to it. It's on our YouTube video.
1660 Jammer.
1680 Jamboree.
1680
Yeah.
Jamboree.
Yeah.
It's a wonderland.
It's,
truly like if Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was moved into a model home, that's what I feel like.
That's where it would be.
Yeah.
I built that home so that every award in the Texas Star Awards for next year My goal is to win them all.
It's beautiful.
It might not happen, but my goal is to win every single award.
We got big goals too, so.
Yes, yeah, that's
Absolutely.
why I built that house.
Yeah,
And
it's beautiful.
everyone that walks into that home just falls in love with it.
Well, I mean, one day, not that we have to keep, but I just wonder what your conversion rate is for everyone that walks in the door.
Yeah.
How many people walk out? I mean, I'm sure you have the looky-loos that come in and you welcome everyone through that door.
You know,
You're
we
kind
treat,
to
yeah, I
everyone.
mean, we really treat every customer. We never talk to them about price or try to qualify them. We really want to get to know every person before we even, enter into a pre-construction agreement. That said, if they're in a reasonable market, whether it's 900,000 or 4 million, we're going to take the time to try to get them. Our conversion ratio is unbelievable.
I bet it
I
is.
mean, it really is.
I believe it. I don't know how you can walk in that model and not leave. Like,
Well, and here's the thing about it, Aaron,
with a
is
piece of
that
key in your hand.
our initial agreement, okay, it's a $10,000 deposit, right? And it's a pre-construction agreement. It's got about 15, 20 different things on that agreement. I literally cross through every single one of those items and say, hey, look, I want to get to know you. I want to know what it is you're trying to achieve. What, where are you trying to go? What budget are you trying to work with? And more importantly, what design is that? Well, I can't get that in a 15-minute conversation. I got to get to know the people.
Right.
So in doing that, what I say is, give me a $10,000 check. It's 100% refundable for any reason. Wake up in the morning, coffee puts you in a bad mood, you trip over the cat, and all of a sudden you don't want to build a house anymore.
Right.
Call me up the next morning, I'll write you a check back.
Right. It's just easy.
It's a non-commitment commitment, and it takes all of the pressure and it just releases you and allows you to be able to slow the process down a little bit and make good decisions and to think through them. So, I think with the way that process is working is really what's making our conversion ratio so successful.
Right.
Because we're not a pressure salesperson. You're not walking in here to buy a brand new car and you're going to leave with it today.
It's a big investment.
It's a big investment. And for me to design every single home, which I do design, I really have to learn what they're trying to achieve.
Right.
And to do that, you have to slow it down. You have to have 3 or 4 meetings. Because you're going to think about things tomorrow that you haven't thought about today, and therefore the day after, and that kind of stuff.
And you do all the design work yourself?
I do, yes, sir.
Well, I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, there's not a house that we've built that I haven't physically done the actual design on.
Well, let's walk through
Okay, we'll get down. I'm sorry.
For the master suite, you're going to have an exercise room here. This comes off of the hallway so that the kids can use it too, but it also creates a private zone.
Totally, it's big enough for weights,
Yep.
your Peloton, a treadmill. You can fit a lot of equipment in here.
Yeah.
And you can put your fridge over here for all your,
That's exactly right.
for your
You
juice.
can walk outside, you can do yoga in the morning if you want to. We have a nice little
Absolutely.
trellis out there for that.
You can go do some hot Bikram yoga outside right now because it's 1,000 degrees.
Right.
Go sweat and detox.
Then off of the master bathroom as well, you're going to have your utility room, and you'll have your washer and dryer down below.
I love these
Is
countertops.
this beautiful?
Yes, very cool. And this
Yep.
is really awesome too.
Yeah, so these just pull down, allows you to put your hangers on there. And then once you put your hangers on, you just slip it right back
I
up.
love that.
Yeah.
I don't need one because
So-
I would freak it.
Well, as they're new, they're a little tight, but then just put your hangers on,
Isn't that great?
slide it back up.
And on your 2 stores, I think your other home, didn't you have a laundry chute right there?
We did, yes,
Yeah,
sir.
which
Yep,
is cool.
Sure did. You'll see the different notes around here. So this is communication
That's
in custom home building is everything. So to be able to take the individual items that the customers are picking, you'll see them plastered all over the walls everywhere. Whether it's a bathtub and you need dimensions, or if it's going to be individual, what color's the countertop, what type of floors.
And this, when I've shown this house before, my clients actually, they'll come over and they really read through.
Oh yeah.
And in some of the rooms, you've got actual pictures
Uh-huh.
of what's going to go in that space.
Yep.
I mean, you just kind of cover all the expectations, and this is a pocket door too, which is cool.
Yeah. It's very common for a customer to come to us and to have their own Pinterest page or to have their own
And
housing
I
page.
love the way
That cool?
it's awesome. Awesome. I like the floating shelves. I love everything about this house.
Hey, Tony, talk about the floors too. Are you finding that customers are getting more away from the dark hand scraped?
I think in general, as a general rule, all dark colors are pretty much going away. So we're either doing, like, this is a hickory floor, but
It's beautiful.
Most
floor.
customers are doing either a white oak or a hickory. And the reason that they're going with the white oak is because they can go with lighter colors, but all the red's been pulled out of it, so you're not going to get those pinkish tones. But this is probably one of the darkest floors that I've done in some time now.
Really?
Yeah, most of them are even lighter than this. A lot of the blonde tones, still staying with earth tones, but blonde tones.
And I'm seeing some people too, like they want to keep things lightened up, but they'll hit the pull in the dark, maybe in like the beams, or
Right.
it's like a pop of dark.
Yep, that's true.
Like you've got it in your in the door handles here.
Well, and again, little bitty details, but if you look at the hinges here, you'll notice how all the hinges are not painted hinges.
That's
We
a good
take the
thing to
hinges
point
off,
out.
we replace those back with whatever the color of your knob is. The spring load of the actual door is a heavy spring. So little bitty quality features, all of our screws are lined up.
And you've got full tile.
Yeah, we take the tile all the way to the ceiling. Subway tiles have become a big thing over the past couple of years, but you'll see how now I'm starting to mix a lot of the different types of subways.
And you'll find that's where a lot of builders can save a little bit money just by going up maybe 8 feet or 9
they'll
feet
take
instead
it
of all the
8
way to
feet.
the top.
Well, my feeling on that is that's a real wet zone.
Yeah.
You need to take that all the way up.
Yeah.
Especially if you have children.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
don't know what happens when they're in the bathrooms, but
Yeah, they can sure splash a lot of water around. Huh?
it's amazing.
Same thing here. Little bitty design features. to
Yeah,
go
and the
along
nice,
with it.
like, you've got, like, you've thought about the built-ins, and, like, I can see rolled up towels.
Yeah, and I tell you, we have an interior designer named Susan, and she spends hours
Or,
just studying materials.
I would say that's so cool.
Yeah.
Or, if this is your mother-in-law suite, you could, like, she could stack her wine.
True. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Notice all the mirrors are all framed mirrors.
Tony, what's the craziest, this is like a random question, what's the craziest request you've had in a house that
Oh, goodness.
you can immediately think of?
Boy, there's been a bunch of them. We've done a lot of things. I mean, from mirrors on ceilings in game rooms and built-in saunas, golf simulators.
Oh,
we've had
I was
some-
thinking golf would be one of the big
golf,
items.
Golf is that.
And basements. The
Basements.
basements are super cool that you can do that.
Yeah, Tony, by the way, is one of the few builders out here that not only will do basements, he loves to do basements.
I love to do
because you've got a patent on your
100%.
technology.
Basements
So
are.
cool.
And if you go into our model, you'll see 1,200 square foot of basement with exercise room and wine cellars. Yeah.
And I've heard you've had a stack of people trying to buy that.
We've turned down more offers than you can imagine. I thought this was a nice room. The way that we
Tom,
use the
did you
mirrors.
see I love the fixtures. Love how you did the sconces.
Well, and to extend that
yeah.
mirror from side to side, and then to be able to incorporate your silvers and your golds together, you just don't see that
And
very
that faucet is beautiful. And I'm always I do actually like the shape of that sink.
Before they start the full exterior, putting up brick, putting up stone, putting up roof, they do a little mock-up of it just to make sure that the materials that y'all selected out.
the studies. This is one of the few that I've done where I've actually done open studies. Probably already taken you out of the patio.
And see, I mean, like,
They also,
Even the stain put on the ceilings. These are all going to be colored doors for your exterior rooms, which is color doors, color windows, all casement windows, which I think is real important. Yeah. You notice, how the
How
arch
big are
door
these
matches.
lots? These are across the streets?
All 1 acre. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
How
a
much
great
of it-
example of a $260,000 lot.
Yeah, let
in
me
the
show the
city of
people that.
Fairview that you can put $1 million to $1.1 million home.
Yeah.
$260,000 for an acre.
That's unbelievable.
That's unheard of.
You've noticed our landscaping. I don't know if you've seen the front of the house.
Also, the lights. and
The lights?
leaves,
Yeah.
What are those, like little 2-inch
Uh-huh.
LEDs?
2-inch LEDs. You'll notice we even do crown mold around the outside. Round gutters.
You
Beautiful in the
gutters, yeah.
daytime and the night.
Okay, we'll be done in just a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Notice the lighting up high gives you the accent at night.
And I noticed the thermidor, you told me you got a...
Thermidor is a standard feature for us, yeah. You'll have a 66-inch refrigerator there, oven and a half, sliding range.
Nope. Nope. Once we get this signed up and get your check, we'll send them the tile company. We'll get it done.
This is where people have it. I have my office back here. Because if I had the beautiful pool back there, and see, I love this center beam. You've got the light there. The media room is so cool. Like,
The media room's always been a big part for me. I enjoy the media rooms. They're fun.
Well, you're such a family guy.
Yeah, I mean, that's... Did you see how I did the barn doors, Tom?
Yes,
The barn
I
door.
sure did once.
So you got the barn door that will actually close off the media room here. Open and close.
The floor tile's amazing.
And then you also have a serving bar here in the media room with your bar. And then if you're just watching movies, then you just close these off as well.
And this is what Tony used to do before
Yep.
he got into home building. That's why he loves media rooms.
Love media rooms. So this room here, you know, again, you got your stadium seating up here, got a nice little bar area here. This is just a drink rail. If you're sitting over here, you guys are just talking, but you're still watching the game, you got a drink rail to be able to keep your drinks on.
Oh,
Yeah.
college football. How
College
wish you-
football. Yeah, exactly.
We'll be watching a lot of reruns this fall.
And then you got your 5th bedroom, which is your guest suite back on this right side here.
Also note, no two bathrooms, no two secondary bathrooms are alike.
No, they're not. I put a lot of pride in making sure that they're all individual.
All your
Also make sure that they're not shared.
living areas are hardwoods.
Yes, sir.
And then all the bedrooms are carpet as
yeah.
it should be.
Yeah, and this is a really good grade carpet. Padding is one of the best paddings that you can get.
Yeah, it's a really, really nice. This was one of my favorite
These are all
bedrooms in the
spacious
house.
bedrooms too.
If Stevie and I were buying this house, this would be Stevie's room. Because she would just like this open vanity area.
Well, and the tile that's next to
The
it, too.
tile is so killer in here. And all the closets have built-in shelves.
All the closets have built-in shelves, yeah. And I don't build a closet less than 5 foot by 5 foot. Aaron, did you notice how we're changing up the tiles quite a bit in the bathrooms now?
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing a lot of, you know, the back wall might be one color, but then the side walls might be a different color.
I love that. You know what else is really cool too? It's just the pictures, like the cool.
Yes.
You got, this is just absolutely imperative.
Every house comes with one.
Every house should have
Yep.
that. To hold our professional size shampoo bottles. That's what I was going to ask you. What's your build time on pools?
About 6 to 8 weeks.
There's another plus of building with you because
Yeah.
right now if you build new and you add because if you're adding a pool, there's an enormous wait list right now.
Well, there's a wait list. You're also if you're not building it with a house, you're tearing up your yard, you're tearing up your
Right.
landscaping. I mean, we spend a lot of money on that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. You know, when we build it with a house, we can size the gas lines to account for the swimming pool.
Right.
We can run the electricity
Right.
through the house for the swimming pool. So it's
Mm-hmm.
going to save the customer on money. It's also going to give a lot better construction experience as you're doing the build time.
And people can always, if they're doing their they're financing their home.
Well, you get to roll it in with
You get
the
to
cost
roll
of
it
the
into
house.
your
That's
mortgage,
right.
which
So-
is nice too.
I love this kitchen.
I do too.
Notice
I
the-
love this.
So that's something that we've been doing. Again, you know, all great ideas come from Pinterest and house nowadays. But to incorporate the wood, to incorporate the wood with the ceiling and to run the beams up there and bring that back down into the cabinets, I thought was really